St. Mary's hair, alma mater hair, we will give our all.
Pioneers, adventurers, fortune seekers, what could be missing during 1860 in California? Catholic education, one man answered, and by doing so he changed the course of West Coast education. This man was Archbishop Almany, and he has just purchased land on San Francisco's Mission Road to build St. Mary's College of California. Funding the building, however, was not an easy task, as we hear from today's college archivist, Martin Cohen.
He got $35,000 some odd dollars, which was a lot of money in those days, but to build the college in the way that they wanted to build it. So the immediate thing was that they were in debt from the very beginning.
Despite funding, in 1862 construction starts, and in 1863, the year of the Emancipation Proclamation, the college's doors open. As the diocese operates the college, they encounter more financial difficulties, and Archbishop Almany proposes a plan to revive the college finances.
But Almany and his desire to have the Christian Brothers here and not getting them at first and then persisting and then eventually getting them, and then how so many of them were Irish.
9 brothers finally arrived in 1868 from New York to take over the college and teach without salary, which staunched the financial wounds. Their president was Brother Justin, and in 1872, St. Mary's was chartered to award college degrees, and the first baseball team was started. But not all were happy with the location and campus buildings of the San Francisco campus.
The thing was that the San Francisco campus, in spite of all of the promotional literature, was foggy and cold and windy and just, out there.
By 1887, the cornerstone was laid for the new Oakland campus, and in 1889, the brothers moved their college. However, the new location presented a new set of difficulties.
And it was another kind of a hit-and-miss thing because the Oakland campus was about near the intersection of Broadway and Piedmont Avenue, and the city plans called for Piedmont Avenue to continue crossing Broadway.
As if an impending roadway and the architect's poor planning with natural lighting and heating weren't enough, St. Mary's Oakland campus suffered from a fire in 1894 that caused them to relocate to the original San Francisco campus.
They moved after they had 2 disastrous fires in Oakland, and they had to, with the first one they actually had to move back to the San Francisco campus for a year and then come back.
The building was restored, and in 1895 classes resumed at Oakland, classes that included Latin and Greek, which the Christian Brothers were banned to teach with threat of exile. The brothers persisted and found a loophole by holding Latin and Greek classes across the street from the college under the papacy's nose. Time passed, and in 1903, as the Wright brothers were taking flight, the students of St. Mary's were writing their first student publication, The Collegian. Athletics were boosted with rugby, track, and basketball in 1907, and by 1912, St. Mary's baseball team had defeated the Red Sox, and student Bobby Vloit was the first winner of Beta Breakers, giving St. Mary's something to celebrate at their 50-year jubilee in 1913. After 50 years, a change was heading towards the college with World War I in 1914. 2/3 of the student body was diminished as over 800 students and alumni fought the war. Following the demand for able-bodied men, St. Mary's began the Student Army Training Corps in 1918, in which over 200 men enrolled. Tragedy also struck in 1918 in the form of a second fire, after which rumors of the college's move began circulating.
The brothers voted where they would go, and the president said, unanimous, we're going to Moraga. In fact, the brothers didn't want to go to Moraga.
Brother Joseph Fenlon, president at the time, was nicknamed Moraga Joe after his decision, and in 1928 the California mission-style campus was opened and became the birthplace of the Great Books program, introduced in part by James Haggerty in 1941. While the world waged a second war, St. Mary's hosted the Navy Pre-Flight School in 1941, where the soon-to-be President Gerald Ford was football coach and instructor from 1942 till the end of the war in 1945. During the 50s, a great many pranks were pulled, such as the world record phone booth stuffing, and in 1956 St. Mary's embraces a new Great Books program known as Integral Studies. Brother Mel takes the presidency in 1969 and holds the longest term for 28 years. Not a year after, St. Mary's, the mother of men, now has a daughter, as women are admitted to the college in 1970, with the first women graduates in 1971. The original campus bell returns to Korth Tower in 1987, just 2 years before the Loma Prieta earthquake rocks the campus, causing most damage in the library stacks. As a sign of LaSallian tradition continued, SILSA, Catholic Institute for LaSallian Social Action, is welcomed at St. Mary's in 1999, and to this day stands for St. Mary's students' devotion to the Christian Brothers' values. Which brings us to the present, the birthday party for the 150th year of Catholic tradition, bolstered by a community of Christian brothers who continue to live on the Moraga campus and teach within St. Mary's classrooms. Happy birthday, St. Mary's College of California. This is Alexia Jarvis reporting for Audio Log.